When building your dream home, you'd expect every detail to work perfectly for your family. But the reality is, builders and electricians often rely on standard packages designed for their convenience, not for your lifestyle. That's why families like yours end up spending $10,000 to $50,000 extra in costly variations due to missing simple electrical decisions during the build. Or worse, they move into their forever home and regret the decisions they didn't know they needed to make. In this video, I'm going to show you the exact process I would use to help your family future-proof your home, avoid expensive mistakes, and design an electrical plan that matches your lifestyle. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with a clear framework on how to package lighting, power, and energy efficient solutions into a plan that saves you money, keeps your home future ready, and gives you confidence in the decisions that you're making. All completely free. Before we dive into the framework, my name's Toby. You may know me from Instagram, where I break down electrical solutions for your home. I've been an electrician for the past 5 years, working on everything from standard builder houses all the way up to $1 million dream homes. I've worked with families, architects, and builders at every level, creating unique atmospheres with lighting and making day-to-day life easier with intentional power layouts. But here's what I started to notice. Time and time again, I see families get pushed into cookie cutter electrical packages. Layouts designed to make the builder's job easier, not to make their home actually work for them. I've seen homeowners spend hundreds of thousands, if not millions, on their build only to end up paying an extra $10,000 to $50,000 in variations. And the worst part, many of those costs could have been avoided with proper planning. Architects design homes that look beautiful, but often miss the functionality. Builders run on speed and profit, which is why their standard package for each room is one downlight, one power point, and no aircon. And electricians, they know how to install, but rarely take the time to explain what would truly work for your family. That leaves most homeowners confused, overwhelmed, and ultimately regretful. That's why I saw an opportunity to do things differently. I bring the technical expertise and licensing of an electrician, but my focus is nurturing families through the process, breaking down complex electrical solutions into simple decisions, and making sure you have confidence that your dream home will actually fit your lifestyle. Because building a home is stressful enough. The last thing you need is to waste money and move into a home that doesn't actually work for your family. And that's exactly why I created my approach. I really believe this video will give you insider knowledge of the process and help you better prepare so you don't make the same costly mistakes I've seen over and over again. And for families who want to take this even further, I'll show you how you can get my full Dream Home Power Blueprint, a package that's ready to hand straight to your electrician. It's designed to save you thousands in variations while creating a home that's future ready and something you're proud to show off. Families put their trust in builders and electricians to just handle it. The problem is that majority of the time, the electrical design and planning phase is left too late in the build process, most likely being done by either the electrician business owner who is too busy to put much thought into it, or by an admin staff member who unfortunately does not have the qualification and the knowledge that the electrician will have. Before I share with you the electrical planning framework, let me show you the difference between what happens when families skip this process versus when they do it right. For this example, we'll focus on these two bathrooms. In the first bathroom, we can see the homeowner followed the standard builder path. They would have signed the contract, had a short walkthrough with the electrician, and not had a full understanding of what their bathroom needs. We can see the ceiling looks bulky and cluttered with big tastics and exhaust fans. The only light is a bright white light and 2 heat globes, not something you want to have in your face at night when you go to the toilet. The light coming from the tastic is in the center of the room, causing harsh shadows to be cast on your face when you look in the mirror. This is not a bathroom that matches your lifestyle. The reality is that the electrician would have happily recommended this, as it is easy for them and ticks the boxes of what you need in a bathroom. In this next bathroom, we can see an example of when the family planned the bathroom around their needs and had a reason for each of the lighting choices, and are now able to have different lighting options depending on the time of the day. These soft LED strip lights under the vanity and in the shower niches turn on with a sensor as you walk in, so that you can have visibility during the night without being woken up. Or this mirror light for when you wake up in the morning and want something other than beaming overhead lights, being able to be turned on by just touching the mirror. And for getting ready, doing makeup, and looking at your face in the mirror, these small downlights placed above 250 millimeters away from the mirror provide even light without harsh shadows on your face. This bathroom was created around routines and practical needs of the homeowner. You can see the difference in these plans. And if you had the cookie cutter plan from the start and wanted to make changes similar to what has been done here, it would cost way too much for it to even be worth it. This timeline shows the journey most families go on when building and where everything starts to go wrong. It begins with excitement. You've got the Pinterest boards and the inspiration. Maybe you don't have either, but you have committed to buying land or an old house that you are going to turn into your dream home. You find a builder or an architect and they may introduce you to their electrician. You feel confident. They are the experts and you're in good hands. But this is where things start to quietly go off track. You sign the contract, agreeing to the electrical cost, not understanding what this actually locks you into. Like Jason, who when building his family home was unaware that the contract locked him in to the most basic electrical plan. As construction went on, he had a walkthrough with the electrician and was recommended additions he didn't know were outside of the original agreement, and was under the impression that this was all part of the process. Upon completion, he is met with an unexpected $15,000 electrical variation bill. And this is just one homeowner's story. I've worked on a house that was designed by an architect, and due to their lack of knowledge in electrical, it unfortunately cost the homeowner over $60,000 in variations. The crazy part is it's completely avoidable. There is one critical point in this journey where everything can change, and that's between finding your builder or architect and finalizing the plans. This is where the DIY electrical planning framework comes in. It's broken into 3 phases, which will give you some simple tools to build a plan that saves you money while creating a home that actually fits your lifestyle. A quick disclaimer, making changes outside the standard framework may cost more than a cookie cutter design, but not everything on your plan needs to be installed. You can add provisions to easily make these additions later for a third of the price. Anything you do design now before the build starts will be cheaper than adding it later. Variation costs can be double or triple the normal price, as these are changes made after the original plan finalization. Not to mention how hard it is to make changes once the house is already sheeted. I just want to break a belief for you. You do not need the builder or electrician to start doing this exercise. This is something that you'll be able to give to them later when you are designing the final plans to help influence them in the right direction. Start by taking a pen and paper, and I want you to write down 5 to 7 daily routines around your home. Think mornings, evenings, and weekends. You could be getting ready for work, cooking dinner, movie night, hosting friends, kids doing homework. I'm going to use and show you 2 examples of this exercise. Example 1 will be if you have younger kids or even yourself will be needing to use the bathroom at night and need some low lighting in the hallway or in the bathroom. For example 2, you would go to your closet to get changed. Usually you would be using your phone torch or even turning on the main light to see what clothes are what. Just trust the process. This will all help with making the design selections in the next phase. Pro tip, get some blue painter's tape from your nearest hardware shop. In the house you are living in right now, I want you to spend the next few days putting small bits of tape around the house for where you think there could have been an extra switch, or in your living room where there could have been an extra outlet for a lamp or a charger. In your kitchen and laundry as well, are the appliances where you want them to be, or put some tape where they would work better for you. Once you have the essentials, I want you to write down at least 5 luxuries or future elements. What would make your home even better if money wasn't the issue? You could include motorized blinds, outdoor heaters, smart switches, or even an instant boiling and chilled water tap in your kitchen. Now on to phase 2, design. By now, your builder or architect would have sent you some sort of floor plans. we're going to use these for this phase. We can now take our daily routines that we have broken down in phase 1 and use them to start annotating and writing some comments on the plans so we can get a look at how these routines can play a big role in our electrical plan. We're going to use this two-story home to start to plot and design some of the routines that we discussed in and that we wrote down in phase 1. So our first example was that we would be needing to use the bathroom during the night, and we want a lighting solution that doesn't wake up the rest of the house, as well as not being so bright that it just disrupts our sleep when we try and go back to sleep. Now, a really simple way that we can solve this issue is by having a little recessed sensor in the ceiling of the hallway, and then we can include some little eyelid lights or some little recessed step lights at about 300 mil from the ground, right? And just having these little drawings on the plan can really make it clear to your architect or electrician as to exactly what you want. And so as you come out of your bedroom, these come on with the sensor, and then as you come into the bathroom, you can even include another one in the bathroom with a little under vanity LED. For another example, we're going to look at the kitchen and dining area. Now, I've had lots of conversations about what is the best way to light a space. And normally people would just be doing downlight, 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 downlight. Maybe some downlights here, some downlights there. And the problem with this is it doesn't actually illuminate and provide any task lighting for where we are actually going to have activities and tasks in these homes. This is what I talk about when I say we want to plan our electrical layout around our lifestyle and around daily tasks that we are going to be doing. Here, illuminating the pathway of your kitchen is only going to cast shadows on what you are doing on this bench space. Our new approach will be to light the spaces we actually use. So for our island bench, we might include 3 little can lights. Well, these can be pendants, right? They're going to shine light on the task area. We may include even an LED under the cabinetry on this bench space where our stove is. We don't need to worry about this walkway space because the tasks that we are going to be doing in the kitchen are going to be on the island bench and on this bench space here where your cooktop is. Another really simple one is just including power on your island bench. You'd be surprised how many people miss this. And this is such a simple addition that we can do from the start that if you miss it, it just becomes way too expensive for it to even be justified later on. And then for your dining table as well, think about a pendant or some sort of lighting source directly above it. This is why it's so important that we know where our dining table is going to go so that we can plan the lighting and the electrical around it. See how much cleaner now the roof space looks. We aren't having all the roof space cluttered with downlights. In this design step, we are also able to plot some of the points that we wrote down for luxuries and future elements. I was just having a conversation yesterday with someone who was renovating their home and they wanted to include some outdoor bar heaters, but their concern was that it was too expensive to do right now. But they wanted a solution so that it didn't end up being a costly variation later. The solution would be to draw these bar heaters and then just simply writing provision on them and clearly communicate to your electrician that you need a circuit for them as a provision, and then they can run an isolation switch to the alfresco switch. And then even if you had some downlights in your alfresco ceiling, they can run the cable to these downlights, and this is something that they're able to access later on. This is such a small cost up front now, but it's going to save you thousands later. When you want to add them in later, if your house is already complete, it's going to cost so much money. So having these annotations, having these drawings where we describe our pools, you know, over here we've got a future pool, so we're going to write provision pool circuit. And just simply putting these little drawings, annotations on your plans can give your electrician a really good idea of what future-proofing options you require. Now that you've mapped out your lifestyle, planned your lighting and power, and noted down your future provisions, the final step is to package everything for your builder and electrician. The goal here is simple. When you have a clear plan, communication becomes effortless. You can walk into meetings knowing exactly what you want instead of being locked into a standard layout you never asked for. The builder will understand your expectations from the start, and your electrician will have a plan to bring your vision to life without guesswork or confusion. To bring it all together, start by grouping everything room by room. For each space, list the lights, switches, outlets, and any future provisions you'll want installed later. Pro tip, having dimensions and placements for any key furniture pieces like your couch or your dining table can ensure your electrician installs their cables and lights in the correct position from the start. Also, include your appliance list. That's your cooktop, oven, hot water system, fireplace, EV charger, pool equipment, everything that draws power. The more your electrician knows ahead of time, the better they can size cables correctly and run the right circuits before the house is sheeted. When all this is packaged clearly, you eliminate confusion, prevent mistakes, and save thousands in variations later. Now, this is usually where families get stuck. They've done the thinking, maybe even sketched ideas on their plans. But pulling it all together into one clear document takes hours of coordination and technical know-how. And most builders and electricians don't have time to guide you through this process. And that's why so many homeowners end up with regret, missed power and lighting, and costly rework. That's exactly why I created the Dream Home Power Blueprint, a complete guided system that takes everything you have just learned, and instead of doing it yourself, you'll get one-on-one support to make sure nothing is missed. It includes a done-for-you service that turns your ideas into a professional builder and electrician ready package. Something they can easily follow to bring your dream home to life exactly the way you envisioned it. Instead of spending weeks pulling this together on your own, on top of the stress of managing your build, you'll walk away with a clear, confident plan designed specifically around your family's lifestyle. Inside the blueprint, you'll get exclusive access to me for all your questions and concerns, a one-on-one design consultation where we walk room by room through your plans so I can understand your routines, lifestyle, and design goals. Lifestyle discovery form, a simple questionnaire that captures how your family really lives day to day. A full electrical plan including lighting, power, switches, and future power. A design review call where we review your layout together, refine every detail, and ensure it aligns perfectly with your vision. And finally, all plans and notes your electrician will need to turn your expectations into reality. As a bonus, I'll speak directly to your electrician so there is no confusion, no missed details, and your plan is executed exactly as intended. So here's your choice. You can take everything I've shown you here today and do it yourself. And honestly, even that will put you far ahead of most homeowners. Or if you want to take the guesswork out and have everything done for you, all the planning, design, and documentation handled by a licensed professional, just click the link in the description to book your dream home discovery call. On the call, we'll go through where you're at in your build, find the gaps, and see whether the blueprint is the right fit for your home. Either way, you'll leave the call with more clarity and confidence in your electrical plan than you ever have before. Create the home your family will love for decades without costly mistakes. Click the link below and let's start designing your dream home the right way.